Right, we got some building materials on here on this bad boy, and we're going to plop them down now. Right, so this is all that's left now. 2 big metric ton is it called? I don't know. Anyway, that's all that's left, and I'm loading it into these buckets with spades, putting it in the car and driving it down the hill there. I've already got the rest of the stuff. There was a load of tiles and another one of these. So I just got to get these down now to the house, and then that's everything moved. Right, so this is the process. I drive up this street, very narrow one, get to the stairs here. The car's full and my tyres skid, and then I take the bucket out, carry it up these steps, put it in this wheelbarrow and wheel it down to the end, and then that's where my house is. Right, so here's the cement mixer. It's got a load of concrete in it. It's just a mix of 6:1 ballast and cement, and I'm whacking that into these buckets and then carrying it down here carefully not to fall in this hole, and putting it in this trough here. I've already done a couple of buckets. Looks like it's about maybe 4 more buckets and it'll be full, so I'm going to crack on with that. Right, that's another 5 buckets in there now. So I'm just sort of leveling it out and making sure there's no air bubbles, just pressing it all in. And as you can see, it actually stops by that beam, so it's flowing under this beam a little bit, but I'm going to need to put some buckets in this trough and this trough as well, probably another 3 or 4. I think there's about 7 or 8 in this big one. And so yeah, I need to whack the mixer on again with a bit more ballast and cement. So I'll do that now. There she goes, look at that go. There it goes. Right, so this has all gone off now. By the looks of it, it looks pretty hard. So I'm going to pull off all of the wooden supports and expose the casting and hope there's no big air gaps. So yeah, let's pull that off and have a look at it. Okay, here it is. The casting is exposed to the air. I'll just show you from the bottom as well. Yeah, so here it is. I'm very happy with how the casting went, but I'm not so confident in the concrete mix because it's still very powdery, and it's been drying now for several days, I think, or under 48 hours, but it's still, you know, actually it's pretty good there. Parts of it are kind of crumbly, so I'm a bit worried that it's not gonna set properly and I'll have to redo it or something. I'm not sure. That would be a real pain in the arse. But I'll give it another couple of days to dry out, and yeah, we'll see. So you can see I've done it at a slight angle, and that is to give the steel rods that I put in there a bit more space so that they're a bit further away from the air, basically. So there's a bit thicker of a bit of concrete in between the steel rods going through. And also, I mean, it's just a little detail. It looks alright, I think. It looks fine. You're not going to notice it really once it's all plastered and stuff. And yeah, it just gives the beams themselves a bit more to rest on. And yeah, it's looking good. So now the casting's done, assuming it sets properly, the next step is going to be to put in the supports for the stairs. So I've got a couple of big beams down here and another offcut there, and with those I'm going to fashion the supports for the stairs. So there'll be some uprights at an angle going onto these beams, 1, 2, and they'll connect onto this beam here, and then on top of that the stairs will sit. So yeah, that'll be next. Right, so I've cut the first I guess you call it a beam for the staircase support. They've got these angles here, I'll show you how they fit in a bit. And I have to cut the second one by hand because my electric saw has broken. That kind of sucks. But yeah, I'll crack on and do another. Alright, oh god, that was hard work. So we got this cut at an angle, and we got this one cut. So let's get them in place. Right, so those verticals are up now. Would you call it a vertical? I don't know. Those beam things that the stairs are going to sit on. So they're spaced about 90 centimetres apart. No, 70 centimetres apart. So a tile, these big tiles down there, those ones, they're going to rest in the centre of that and in the centre of that beam, and then on top of those the stairs will go. So they're just screwed in with a couple of fat screws at an angle, and I just bashed some glue and some packers in there to make sure it's all tight. And they're also screwed down here. The screws aren't actually that important, they're not going to do that much once everything is mortared, plastered, you know, once it's all in properly. They won't be going anywhere because all of these gaps here will be filled in, so it will push against something solid, and this beam is super solid, so it's just pushing against that. I'll just show you from the bottom as well. So this is how they look from the bottom. You can see they're just sort of nestled on that, and this one needed a packer under it, so that's sat on a packer. And then you can see the angle is kind of like a little, it's like a snake just biting onto that beam. Yeah, so that's that.